ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Yeah, this is it. Go! 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 Yeah, this is it. Go! Go! Let's go! This is it. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, it's about to break. Got what it's gonna take. Go ahead and own that stage. Let's go. When you're made for this, yeah, it's obvious. Top another list. Let's go. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Yeah, this is it. Go! 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 Yeah, this is it. Go! Let's go! This is it. Go! Go! This is it. Go! Let's go! This is it.
Hi there, I'm Mayor Doug Ponce, and I'm honored to welcome you to the 9th Biennial State of the City. On behalf of my fellow members of the Williamsburg City Council, I want to thank you for tuning in. Every 2 years, we invite the community to hear directly from the Williamsburg City Council about recent successes, our plans for the next 2 years, and how all of this fits into the long-term vision of Williamsburg 2040. One Williamsburg that is courageously leading, innovating a modern city, prioritizing safety and wellness, engaging with our partners while connecting to the world. One Williamsburg is a vision of what Williamsburg will be in 2040, and it will be achieved through the dedicated and persistent effort over the next 18 years. Our strategic planning process consists of initiatives that, when completed, fulfill 6 goals. Our path to achieving this vision is one you helped shape. Throughout this fall, we have reached out to you for your input in various ways. Maybe you filled out one of our 2 surveys, which received nearly 1,000 responses. Or you are one of the more than 900 people who attended one of our 8 future festivals and played games that were specifically designed to gather your feedback. Thank you, seriously, for caring so deeply about our community. Your engagement is at the core of what makes Williamsburg so special. Speaking of engagements, almost half of the city's registered voters participated in the election in November. I want to take a moment to thank Councilmember Ted Naslin for his contributions to the goals process in our city over the last 4 years. His curiosity and attention to detail helped the City Council make thoughtful decisions. I would also like to welcome Councilmember-elect Stacy Kern-Shearer. On behalf of my fellow members of the Williamsburg City Council, I look forward to working with you to carry out our 2040 vision. Since we last held this event in the fall of 2020, this community has put a tremendous amount of work into the collective pandemic recovery. Many of you received at least one of your vaccine doses at the Greater Williamsburg Vaccine Clinic. The clinic is truly one of the crowning achievements in Williamsburg's long history. The city led the effort to open and operate a clinic out of the Colonial Williamsburg Visitor Center in cooperation with James City County, York County, the Virginia Department of Health, Colonial Williamsburg, and William & Mary in January of 2021, as one part of a regional vaccine delivery strategy that spanned the peninsula. The clinic met the moment in a big way, dedicating its first day of operations to vaccinating school teachers and staff to safely return our school kids back to the classroom. More than 20,000 doses were administered over 4 months thanks to the good work of our first responders, school nurses, and countless volunteers. Our COVID recovery effort spanned nearly all aspects of the community, and our financial recovery strategy is proving successful. Our tourism-based economy took a $19 million hit over 2 fiscal years, but in fiscal year 2022, the total revenues from our sales, meals, and lodging taxes reached $19.2 million, slightly exceeds the total for the tax generated in fiscal year 2019, before the pandemic, indicating that our local economy is bouncing back. I knew we had a strong budget strategy. The proof is in the numbers, and now it has received the praise of the Virginia Municipal League. which recognized the City of Williamsburg's COVID budget strategy with an Innovation Award, as well as its top prize, the President's Award. Early in 2020, the city decided to protect its healthy reserve funds when many localities tapped the reserves to address the shortfalls caused by the pandemic. This decision was part of a 3-year plan that allowed the city to remain financially prepared to 1. Weather the entirety of the pandemic, and 2. Handle any other emergencies like a hurricane or snowstorm if one hit the community during the pandemic. We diverted funds typically used to encourage tourism to cover the shortfalls and to get creative about how to revitalize our economy. Often partnering with nearby localities, the city granted more than $2.3 million to city businesses to help them reconfigure their operations and safely serve their customers. To help provide outdoor gathering spaces for our residents and visitors, the city set up tables and chairs on the Duke of Gloucester Street and Prince George Street so that people could comfortably patronize their favorite restaurants downtown. At this point, the outdoor tables at Dog Street are beloved, and it feels like they've been there forever. The day-to-day efforts and the unending ingenuity of the city government, residents, and employers not only kept businesses open and on the path to full recovery, but made the city better and more vibrant in the long run. We dealt with the pandemic head-on and successfully recovered financially with little compromise to the initiatives we put before you 2 years ago. We have completed 81% of those tasks and are nearing completion on most of what is still in the works. On this very platform 2 years ago, I announced that the Regional Committee identified property adjacent to Colonial Williamsburg Visitor Center as the preferred site for the new regional sports complex. Since that announcement, the city, James City County, and York County have created the Historic Triangle Recreational Facilities Authority to oversee the project. The authority has since solicited proposals and selected a firm to design and build a nearly 200,000 square foot regional sports facility. And the authority is currently finalizing lease negotiations with Colonial Williamsburg for enough space adjacent to the visitor center to accommodate the possibility of other amenities, such as an amphitheater or a performing arts venue. The Greater Williamsburg Clinic, the city's financial recovery, and the progress of the sports complex are just a few of the major achievements in the last 2 years. Throughout this program, you will hear from my fellow members of the Williamsburg City Council, as well as the presidents of our two-pillar institutions, William & Mary and Colonial Williamsburg Foundation, about the collective progress in achieving a vision for Williamsburg 2040. But before I introduce my fellow members of council, I'm excited to present our first ever Williamsburg Mace Bearer Award. The City of Williamsburg is filled with people who are committed to the well-being and betterment of our city. City Council has created a new award to formally recognize those who have made a lasting positive impact on the City of Williamsburg community. Prior to this address, we revealed the inaugural winner. It is my honor to announce that Jim Joseph is our first ever Williamsburg Mace Bearer Award recipient. The full award video can be found on our YouTube channel, but here's a glimpse of why Jim Joseph is so deserving of this award.
The Williamsburg gentleman is what I call Jim. Jim has contributed everything to the neighborhood council.
Jim was able to inspire important topics for each meeting and get important people to come to speak to those topics at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. And they didn't all like doing it, but they did it because they realized how central this community and neighborhood council was to the people of Williamsburg.
Everybody could come to a meeting. The meeting would be an open discussion where we could talk about mutual problems or help each other solve a problem they may have unique to their particular territory. What I love about Williamsburg is the people of Williamsburg.
Congratulations, Jim. Your contributions to the Williamsburg community are truly appreciated. And we'll see you at the next Neighborhood Council meeting. Now on to the remainder of our State of the City address. I'll tell you about our first goal, One Williamsburg. One Williamsburg is the idea that we must cultivate a culture of opportunity in our community. A culture that provides a pathway for residents and visitors, business owners and workers, students and professionals to succeed, to feel welcome, and to feel safe. The City of Williamsburg should be a place where anyone can reach and maintain a quality of life that they envision for themselves and their families. It is easy to offer such a sweeping declaration. It's harder to take meaningful, tangible steps that truly bring us closer to achieving one Williamsburg ideal. Your feedback at the future festivals and in our surveys made it clear that you believe that the city should focus on housing to help us achieve one Williamsburg, and we agree. In 2021, the city convened an affordable housing work group that conducted a housing study and offered recommendations to address the need of affordable housing units across all income levels. You may be surprised that less than 10% of the workers in Williamsburg actually live in Williamsburg. We are already pursuing some of the work group's recommendations, such as converting underperforming hotels into affordable housing and adding workforce housing to properties surrounding the Waller Mill Reservoir. In the next 2 years, we will pursue rehabilitation grants to fund residential improvements in neighborhoods such as Highland Park, Wales, and Crispus Attucks. These grant-funded improvements enable aging in place and preserve existing affordable housing in neighborhoods through deed restrictions on resales. We will also work to find a lending partner in the city to help establish a direct loan program. These loans would assist income-qualified homeowners or buyers with home improvements and preservation projects. To create entry to mid-level housing opportunities, the city will explore zoning amendments that would allow for more affordable units around the city. And we will evaluate the possibility of adding a housing coordinator position to help identify and secure emergency, transitional, and long-term affordable housing options for those in need. Your input also made it clear that you want the city to value diversity, equity, and inclusion in its policies and practices. Last year, the police department launched a citizen advisory committee to guide the department's relationship with the community. In addition, the city formed a Truth and Reconciliation Committee to study the impact of historic racism and racial injustice on city residents. We have put together a dedicated group of people who are committed to uncovering and acknowledging the truth about racial history, and we look forward to hearing their recommendations and to begin implementing on at least 2 of the recommendations by 2025. Another way of acknowledging the city's racial history is the creation of the African American Heritage Trail. City staff has already drafted a potential route and is pursuing federal funds to construct a beautiful reflection area at the trailhead at the corner of Virginia Avenue and Lafayette Street. We have a lot more planning ahead of us, including gathering your input on the details of the design and the trail's content. Our efforts to realize one Williamsburg vision can only succeed if we are committed to connecting our residents to the opportunities that surround us. Vice Mayor Pat Dent will tell you more about our next goals, connecting with the world.
Thank you, Mayor Ponce. So much of our work to achieve and maintain the quality of life our residents deserve relies on our ability to make opportunities accessible to set our residents up for success. Through our extensive public input process this fall, we learned our residents are increasingly concerned about access to and the quality of our public transportation options. While this issue has certainly been on our radar, you made it clear we need to make it one of our top priorities. It is entirely unacceptable to have bus stops without shelters or seating. Our students, residents, visitors, and perhaps most importantly, our workforce deserve reliable and safe transportation that is not compromised by a rainy day. In the next 2 years, we will conduct an inventory of city bus stops and identify the necessary improvements to provide each stop with a defined standard level of service, including shelters, seating, and trash cans. We will improve at least 70% of stops to our new standard by 2025. The city recently funded a study of the Williamsburg Area Transit Authority that investigated what the next generation of public transit should look like. Our public transit system should be convenient and dependable, meaning faster and more frequent service with a route schedule that can be easily found and understood. We want to partner with WADA to design and implement the best technology for route maps, arrivals, and real-time bus tracking. By making the schedule more accessible, we can improve the experience for those already riding the bus and attract new riders. We are already working with WADA, James City County, York County, and Colonial Williamsburg on a phased plan that includes creating a route that will convert the Colonial Williamsburg shuttle route into one that connects the Visitor Center, Historic Area, and Transportation Center with the Monticello Commercial Corridor. Once implemented, you won't have to wait more than 15 minutes to catch a bus to a pharmacy, grocery store, or general shopping areas. New and improved trails and sidewalks ensure our community is more connected within itself and with surrounding localities. In the coming years, the city will continue development of the Williamsburg segments of the Birthplace of America Trail, which should eventually connect Virginia Capitol Trail. When complete, the total trail system will allow users to walk or bike from Richmond to Fort Monroe, with Williamsburg as a central hub. One connection will be the College Woods Circuit, a trail network that will circumnavigate College Woods. We've already opened the Monticello Avenue multi-use trail, and we will soon receive the necessary funding to design the next phase along Strawberry Plains Road and John Tyler Lane. While we should strengthen physical connections to the Richmond-Hampton Roads mega region, we should also work with the jurisdictions between Richmond and Virginia Beach to create one of the top 20 largest metro areas in the country. Regionalism and size are important factors that win economic development projects, secure state and federal funds, and broaden awareness for investment and tourism. We want to have a stronger voice in the mega region through the organization RVA 757 Connects and join in its commitment to improving the economic success and quality of life for everyone in the Richmond and 757 regions. Lastly, if we learned anything during the pandemic, the best and most efficient way of connecting with the world is online. The city recently entered into a franchise agreement with a new broadband provider, Glo Fiber, finally providing a second broadband option for our residents. In addition, with cellular providers expanding their 5G networks to areas in the city, some residents have a third alternative for their internet needs. We must continue to support the expansion of broadband providers while also seeking an appropriate solution to creating access to internet connectivity. Our stance has not changed since we presented this address to you 2 years ago. Broadband and internet access is in just as high demand as trash collection or water service and is the next generation public utility that will define community success. We want to connect with the world, but we also want the world to connect with us. Our ability to balance Williamsburg's long history with the demands of today will be key to our success. Councilmember Barbara Ramsey will share our plans for innovating a modern city.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Dent. As members of the Williamsburg Public Art Council, the Vice Mayor and I celebrated the unveiling of the mural behind me just last month. Artist Silas Baker designed and painted this beautiful piece that adds vibrancy to our city in one of our newest developments, Midtown Road. The next time you're here to shop or enjoy one of the restaurants, please take a moment to appreciate it and use this great backdrop for a selfie. Your feedback through our future festivals was clear. You want more public art, and the Public Art Council will continue to answer that call. In the next 2 years, we will carry out the plan to design gateway entrances for the city's major corridors to better declare a sense of place and announce, "You have arrived" to our visitors and "Welcome home" to our residents. We will also pursue a downtown fountain feature to serve as an anchor for a new children's park. Public art enhances the city's identity and economic vitality while celebrating the city's past, present, and future. And that same mindset informs our efforts to innovate a modern city. Enhancing the vibrancy of an already bustling downtown with its historic look and feel is one way to strike that balance. The outdoor seating on Duke of Gloucester Street started as an answer to COVID restrictions, but is now a fixture in the heart of Merchant Square. We should improve the aesthetics and function of the seating areas on Prince George Street, making them permanent with flexibility for restaurants, businesses, and patrons. Williamsburg has long been a tourist destination, and we have demonstrated we can lengthen visitor stays by diversifying attractions. History remains a draw, but so are the food festivals, concerts, family entertainment venues, and art shows. Throughout our public input process, we heard that you love all of the activity in Williamsburg. Imagine the possibility of an enhanced film festival, a second-to-none food and beverage festival with local and visiting celebrity chefs, or a trades fair that highlights the craftsmanship of the world's best skilled workers. Our goal is to attract global visitation with year-round events that are diverse, exciting, and add to our quality of life. We also want to find the best partner to design and launch a signature event that complements grand illumination and the 4th of July to grow our renown as the smallest city with the biggest international address. The city's municipal campus and city square should also add vibrancy downtown, and we now have a once-in-a-generation opportunity for renewal. A comprehensive development plan will result in a landmark series of facilities, all representing what is best about Williamsburg. Our new fire station will open in 2023, followed by a new police station to be built on the other side of the municipal building on Lafayette Street. The demolition of the current police station creates space for a new 21st century library, which will connect with the Stryker Center, boast a new and improved community theater, and increase parking availability. During the future festivals, we heard over and over again how much you value the Williamsburg Library. We are committed to building a new library that promises to be just as beloved, active, and special as the current one, and in the same downtown location. The final City Square project is the redevelopment of the Blayton Building, so we can provide quality, modern housing to senior residents. This can be accomplished on the same site as the current building and extend the mixed commercial and residential patterns of Prince George Street down Armstead Avenue and Scotland Street. Reevaluating the arrival experience for our visitors is paramount to our future. In the coming years, the very important Capitol Landing Road corridor will undergo major streetscape improvements. Connecting Interstate 64 travelers to the city, this thoroughfare should be inviting, dynamic, and attractive to restaurants and businesses. For example, it is the ideal location for a research village, which would attract data science companies and their workforces to Williamsburg. The innovative city of tomorrow will make strides today towards sustainability. Many cities will take standard steps, but we can think outside the box. Should Williamsburg become an electric golf cart community? Your input on how such a change would affect our city is crucial. And if we choose to implement a program, we would need to adopt regulations that enable residential use of electric golf carts on certain streets after meeting rigorous standards. As we innovate a modern city to the benefit of our residents, visitors, and workforce, we need to be careful that we are prioritizing safety and wellness. Councilmember Ted Maslin will tell you more.
Thank you, Councilmember Ramsey. Achieving our vision for the Williamsburg of 2040 will require prioritizing community safety and wellness. This includes focusing on the health and wellness of our employees. We will enhance our employee wellness program to incentivize preventive health and expand our mental health support. An expanded wellness program adds to the city's already desirable benefits. We want to both recruit and retain the best and the brightest employees to remain competitive within our region. The city has recently improved both its compensation and total benefits plans, but we have more work to do. We are reviewing employee daycare options, retiree health care supplements, and will standardize leave and disability benefits. Just as the City of Williamsburg strives to be a top-tier employer by setting the standard for employee care, our community services must also be a priority. For example, Williamsburg will develop initiatives to address mental health and substance use issues. Opioid settlement funds from the state will help pay for this work. Another initiative is the Marcus Alert, which links 911 and regional crisis call centers together to provide a behavioral health response to those experiencing a mental health crisis. Embracing the One Mind program from the International Association of Chiefs of Police will also improve mental health responses. This program unites local communities, public safety departments, and mental health organizations so that the three become of one mind. Our police department will strengthen this partnership with our community health organizations, review its existing policies, and provide mental health awareness training and certification for all police officers and 911 dispatchers. To promote community-wide health, we will continue to improve our parks and recreation system. Recently, accessibility was improved at Waller Mill Park when the small fishing pier was resurfaced to meet the Americans with Disabilities Act requirements. We also plan to install new canine agility equipment at Waller Mill. The long-awaited fourth lighted softball field opened at Kiwanis Park this past summer, making it a more appealing option for sports tournaments. In July, we welcomed the National Softball Association Fast Pitch Softball World Series. Soon, paths and walkways at Kiwanis and Quarter Path Parks will be improved for spectators and participants. These improvements are designed to encourage increased parks usage by both residents and visitors and add to the quality of life you enjoy. In our community survey earlier this fall, we asked for your thoughts on parks and recreation amenities. Your top request was for more public restrooms. We plan to make that a priority. During the last 2 years, we assisted Colonial Williamsburg renovate 2 of its major public restrooms in the historic area. These are near the Powder Magazine and at the Merchant Square ticket office. These renovations provide space for nursing mothers and quiet zones for those with sensory needs. We plan to identify potential locations for additional public restrooms and will build 2 of these within the next 2 years. One set of restrooms will support outdoor activities at Quarter Path Park. In summary, to prioritize safety and wellness, we must continue to invest resources in community-based preventive health care, public safety strategies, and our parks and recreation facilities. Councilmember Caleb Rogers will now explain our next goal, courageously leading.
Thank you, Councilmember Maslin, and thanks to all of you for taking your role in our goal-setting process so seriously. It's no surprise that when asked what characteristic you value in your city government, engaging came out as the top answer. With creativity coming in second, we know you want us to be courageous, resourceful, and inventive in our determination to define and provide the next generation of public service to you. To do this, we plan to adopt in the coming years smart city initiatives that would install a sensor-based technological infrastructure to enable better data collection and policy development in more areas, such as light pollution, pedestrian traffic on sidewalks, trash can capacity, air quality, road conditions, and noise. The more we know about our city, the more responsive we can be to its needs. Smart city infrastructure would also help us on our journey to become a more environmentally sustainable city. As our world works to adequately address climate change, we know Williamsburg could very well face negative consequences from a hotter climate, especially as communities down the road from us are already experiencing sea level rise. Lowering the city's carbon footprint is therefore a necessary goal. In the past, Williamsburg has rated highly by receiving the Platinum Certificate in a statewide Go Green Government initiative. In this next iteration of environmental work, we are ready to be even more ambitious and data-driven. Your feedback this fall told us that sustainability is one of the top issues this community wants the city to address. And the city should start by finding solutions within its own operations. In the past year, we've partnered with sustainability experts who have assessed carbon emissions the city government generated. That study found that in our benchmarking year of 2019, the city emitted roughly 3,500 metric tons of carbon dioxide. Of this, 28% of the emissions came from the city's operations, from buildings and facilities, 18% from water and wastewater operations, and 17% from the vehicle fleet. With 2019 as our base emission year, we can now set new benchmarks for sustainability within our organization, begin implementing strategies that make our operations friendlier to the environment, and publish a new sustainability ladder that serves as the model for all other Virginia localities to follow. The city can take obvious steps. One area we will look into is converting vehicle fleets to electric, directly addressing the emissions from vehicles that frequently traverse the city. We currently have 13 Level 2 charging stations between 4 different locations: the Prince George Parking Garage, the Downtown Parking Terrace, Quarter Path Rec Center, and Kiwanis Park. Our new sustainability effort will explore adding to this EV charging network with both Level 2 and fast charging stations through community partnerships and grant opportunities. Another area we'll look into is installing alternative energy systems to power city buildings. Take our municipal building, for example. It is currently rated as LEED certified silver, meaning energy efficiency measures such as geothermal heating and motion sensor lights are in use across the building. However, it and other city-owned facilities account for almost 1,000 metric tons of emissions per year, given their fossil fuel-based source of power. In the coming years, we will explore procuring cleaner sources of energy for city functions. The most exciting part, though, of our sustainability strategy is its next phase, the community. While we're focusing on the city government for now, our community at large can count on exciting emissions reduction efforts that will include them in the coming years. On the topic of building a city for 2040, our input this fall also asked us to reimagine our current public school system by improving pre-K offerings inside the city and by strengthening the connections between the traditional K-12 model, William & Mary, and Colonial Williamsburg's educational offerings. Improving the pathways from pre-K through senior year and into higher education or certificate programs will not be easy, but the opportunity is one we cannot ignore. We envision the Williamsburg of 2040 will have a model public school system that leverages these partnerships to offer an unparalleled education, extracurricular, and sports experience to our students. To get there, we must start now by engaging the resources of William & Mary and Colonial Williamsburg in a conversation about the future of education in our community. Let's hear more from Mayor Ponce about our last goal, engaging with our partners.
Thank you, Councilmember Rogers. The City of Williamsburg's success as a community is in no small part determined by our regional success, and we must continue to be a trusted leader and a collaborator in the region. In my opening remarks, I told you about the progress we have made with the indoor regional sports complex. Our great progress on this project is directly tied to the consensus we built with James City County and York County. A sports complex will benefit the greater Williamsburg region. Not only would it generate more meals, lodging, and sales tax revenue for all 3 localities, but it would create additional resources for our parks and recreation departments. We can grow and improve our local sports programs while attracting teams and tournaments from beyond the greater Williamsburg. The regional sports complex is 2 assets in one. The City of Williamsburg has a need for additional indoor court space in its recreational programs, a need shared by surrounding localities. Absent a regional solution, each of our localities would be considering individual capital expenses to expand separate regional centers. We should also explore the possibilities for other regional assets around the sports complex. With its location alongside the visitor center, we have the potential to further expand our tourism offering in that area of the city. The public input survey told us that you thought the property was a good location for a performing arts center or an amphitheater. The mission of the Recreational Facilities Authority includes considerations of these and other additional recreational facilities that will benefit the community and the region. To fulfill our vision for Williamsburg 2040, we must continue to reinforce the strong relationship with Colonial Williamsburg and William & Mary. The next improvement to the downtown parking system, for example, is reliant on this partnership. We are currently deploying a parking pilot program at Waller Mill Park that is successful can be applied to downtown. The city, Colonial Williamsburg, and William & Mary are working towards a consolidated management system. We must not ignore the positive impact that William & Mary students have on Williamsburg's future success. They make up about half of the city's population, adding to the liveliness and energy of the city. We need to ensure that we are providing the students with the opportunity to thrive in ways that contribute to the quality of life for all residents. One way to assess the balance is to collaborate with William & Mary to develop an initial annual Town and Gown report that highlights the yearly cooperative efforts and student impacts on our community. I spoke earlier about how many of our efforts to achieve One Williamsburg will focus on the quality of housing across all income areas. We cannot overlook the need for off-campus housing options for students. In the next 2 years, we will work with William & Mary, students, and landlords to develop a rent-ready program that will provide a platform for certified homes to be listed for rent, guaranteeing a positive experience for renters, landlords, and improve the relationship with neighbors. The program would require a standardized lease with safety inspections, a curriculum for renters, property managers, and landlords, and the endorsement from William & Mary for off-campus students to live in rent-ready certified properties. The program has the potential to completely reform housing opportunities for renters in the historic neighborhoods surrounding the campus. Our relationship with William & Mary and Colonial Williamsburg has never been stronger, and that's in no small part due to the collaborative leadership styles of their presidents. 2 years ago, we started a new tradition of including William & Mary President Catherine Rowe and Colonial Williamsburg President Cliff Fleet in our State of the City address. I am pleased to continue the tradition tonight. Let's start with President Catherine Rowe, who will talk to us about the state of the university and its vision for our continued collaboration.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of William & Mary, I appreciate the opportunity to say again that this town-gown partnership is the strongest that I have experienced in my career. Students are active in the city, earning William & Mary the ranking of number 6 most engaged in community service. Our town-gown relationship is an incredible asset, as we saw in recent years. The dedication of Hearth Memorial to the Enslaved last May realized a long-sought vision for our city. It meant so much that neighbors in Williamsburg and First Baptist Church joined us for that moment. Hearth's impact on campus and beyond has been immediate, and it shows the power of collective action around a shared vision. This fall is the first semester since 2019 that public health emergencies have not been the #1 priority for leadership. And that's awesome. Now is the time to lean into the lessons we've learned over the past years so that we can create the community that we seek. Here at William & Mary, we have just launched an ambitious new strategic plan, Vision 2026, in which we will build toward the year 2026 in a way that capitalizes on our strengths, our partnerships, and our history of innovation. That's 330 years of innovation at William & Mary and 323 years for the city. We have an opportunity to showcase this history over the next 4 years as our nation prepares to mark its quarter millennium. We are going to make the case for Williamsburg's significance as the best place in the country for understanding our nation's complex history. Because as we learned from Hearth, plain speaking about hard facts unites us across our differences. So I want to close by bringing you 3 important ways we can come together to expand Williamsburg's reach. First, in February, during William & Mary's Charter Day weekend, we will move the Bray School to its new permanent site. We are grateful for our partnership with Colonial Williamsburg to showcase the roles of race, education and religion, and African American leadership in American history. Second, 2023 will mark the 300th anniversary of the Brafferton Indian School. William & Mary is building on nearly 20 years of collaborative research serving our federal and state-recognized Indian tribes. As with the Bray School, the Brafferton Tercentennial offers a unique opportunity to tell a fuller account of the founding of the United States. And finally, this is the year of the arts at William & Mary. We are preparing to open our new arts quarter with Phi Beta Kappa Hall as its glorious centerpiece. This fall, we broke ground on the Muscarelli expansion to create the Martha Wren Briggs Center for Visual Arts. We are planning a spectacular celebration to bring this community together around art, music, and poetry. So stay tuned and please join us. On behalf of all of us at William & Mary, we are grateful for your partnership. I look forward to continuing to collaborate with the mayor, city manager, and city council to ensure that we all flourish together. Thank you.
Thank you, President Rowe. Now let's turn to Colonial Williamsburg Foundation President Cliff Fleet for his insight on the future of the foundation and our shared priorities.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm Cliff Fleet with the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation. and it's an honor to be a part of the State of the City address. I want to thank the council members for this opportunity to speak about the work we're doing with the city, William & Mary, and partners around the community to make Williamsburg an even more vibrant place to live and learn. After 2 years of the pandemic, I'm pleased to share that our visitation has essentially returned to 2019 levels. It's a welcome improvement that, together with the support of our wonderful donors in the community, has made the foundation even stronger financially than when we were prior to the pandemic. That means we can focus more squarely on our mission, that the future may learn from the past. This core mission has guided Colonial Williamsburg for almost a century, and at its heart is our educational programming, which has both a national and a local impact. That's why in October, we were so pleased to welcome about 200 local teachers to our first ever Educator Appreciation Night. It was our chance to honor their hard work and connect with them the many educational resources we have to offer. We look forward to repeating this well-received event in 2023. In September, more than 40 new American citizens took the oath of allegiance during a naturalization ceremony held at the Capitol building. It was the first time we've been able to hold this event since 2019, when the global pandemic interrupted this tradition. The Williamsburg chapter of the Daughters of American Revolution worked with us to bring back this important event, which will continue next year. And earlier this year, we were honored to join with organizations across the region to commemorate Juneteenth, the federal holiday marking the emancipation of thousands of enslaved people on June 19, 1865. Planning is already underway for next year's events, which will include even more voices from around our community. Partnerships like these are vital to making Williamsburg a welcoming and inclusive place. They will also be important as we prepare for America's 250th anniversary in 2026. Williamsburg was host to an astonishing number of events in the years leading up to and including 1776 that contributed to America's founding. Today, this history positions our region to lead the commemoration effort on behalf of our nation. And the impact of this moment will rest on the preparations we make today. One example is our work at the Powder Magazine, where in April 1775, Virginia's royal governor seized stores of ammunition in the middle of the night, sparking outrage throughout the colony of Virginia. Today, our researchers are uncovering new information about the building's original appearance, which we will use in restoring it ahead of the Gunpowder Incidence's 250th anniversary in 2025. The historic trades have long been integral to Williamsburg's story, though they're not always easy to find. So this summer, we relocated the Brickyard to a more accessible location at Botetourt and Nicholson Street. We also moved the iconic windmill back to the historic area just off Francis Street, where we look forward to opening an expanded farming and agricultural site this spring. And thanks to our generous donors, we plan to break ground next year on the Colin G. and Nancy N. Campbell Archaeology Center. Planned to open in 2025 across from the art museums, this state-of-the-art facility will create new opportunities for the public to engage with our researchers and see our extensive collection of artifacts. The year 1776 also marked the founding of First Baptist Church, one of the nation's oldest Black churches. Today, its congregation is partnering with us on an initiative to uncover the church's original structure on Nassau Street. We look forward to reconstructing this historic building in time for First Baptist Church's 250th anniversary in 2026 and sharing more of the church's inspiring story. Last year, researchers from Colonial Williamsburg and William & Mary confirmed that a building located at the edge of campus is in fact the Williamsburg Grade School. This colonial-era structure is likely the oldest surviving building in America dedicated to the education of Black children. Now, the Williamsburg Grade School Lab, a partnership between Colonial Williamsburg and the university, is working with descendants of the school's enslaved and free Black students to discover their stories. We will relocate the Bray School building in February to the historic area, where we'll fully restore it by November 2024, the 250th anniversary of the school's closing. I am so proud of this work by my colleagues and our partners to uncover more of our shared history, so that everyone can see themselves in America's story. We're also working with the city to make downtown Williamsburg even more lively. This year, we welcomed the Farmers Market back to Duke of Gloucester Street, and we hope to work with the city to make the Kimball Theater available by the end of 2023 for use by the community. Outdoor dining in Merchant Square remains popular and is here to stay. New tenants are on the way for the former William & Mary bookstore building, and this winter, foundation staff will begin moving back into the renovated Goodman building. We've also substantially improved our public parking lots. Our next step is to align our management practices with the city's to ensure a consistent parking experience for everyone visiting downtown. Grand illumination has returned this month for 3 consecutive Saturdays, an expanded schedule we debuted last year so that more people can enjoy this beloved tradition. And we'll celebrate again on July 4th with programming and fireworks over the Governor's Palace, which more than 20,000 people came out to see last year. I hope you will join us for these free events and explore the diverse programming we offer year-round. In the meantime, thank you for your partnership and your support. Together, we'll ensure that the future can learn from the past.
Thank you, President Fleet. And on behalf of my fellow members of the City Council, I want to thank you for watching the 2022 State of the City Address. As you heard today, the journey to fulfilling our vision for the City of Williamsburg is filled with projects and initiatives that are big and small, varied and numerous. Some can start and finish within the next 2 years, and some may be years from accomplishment. We promise to be deliberate and persistent in our pursuit of progress. The state of our city is optimistic. With this brilliant, involved community behind us, we have so much opportunity ahead of us. A transformed Capitol Landing Road corridor, more affordable housing options, improved public transit, a fresh approach to mental health support, a forward-thinking, data-driven technological infrastructure, and the continued engagement of our strategic partners, all of these initiatives enrich our city today and anticipate our future needs. The state of the city is prepared. Because of our purposeful and methodical financial planning throughout the pandemic, we can pursue big ideas without sacrificing the high quality of service you deserve. We protected our strong reserves, invested in our business community, and supported the ideas that help our city maintain the vibrancy and activity that make us so special, all while keeping our taxes the lowest level in the state for any city. Finally, the state of the city is inspired. We are inspired because despite our vision for 2040 being 18 years away, we are making extraordinary progress. Change may be incremental, but we can already see our Williamsburg 2040 taking shape. One Williamsburg means working together for all to thrive. Our future festivals and our surveys were designed to draw in more perspective so that we can address your priorities as we craft the next step towards a courageously led, welcoming, innovative, safe and healthy, connected Williamsburg. And we are inspired by all of you, your enthusiasm, your dedication, your good ideas to the benefit of everyone who lives, works, and visits Williamsburg. Your voice is important to us. We all have an important role in making this community succeed. We are all better because we work together as one Williamsburg.